You know, it changed my life and it changed Dave's. And the Bikers is a legacy brand now. We'd ridden 650,000 miles together over 23 years of broadcast. That's to the moon and back. What I do now, it's all about comfort and being hearty. And when you want to plate of food, you want to cuddle from it. With the ethos that we have it proper, everything is handmade. On match days, we do 700 covers. It's nuts. But it's make, cook, serve.
Welcome to the Good Food Podcast with me, Samuel Goldsmith. Today's guest has been inspiring millions of people for over 2 decades. He's been bringing food, fun and adventure. Firstly, as part of the Harry Bikers with the late Dave Myers. Please, would you welcome Cy King.
Hello everybody, how are you? Well,
Look
what a
at
lovely
that.
introduction, Sam. Thank you.
I could see your fans for miles.
Well, yeah, I did, you know, when you sounded like that, I sound older than religion. You know. Somebody once said that there was they wrote about Dave and I that we were national treasures. Right?
You are a national treasure.
Well, yeah, but that sounds like you get taken out of a cupboard and dusted off. Do you know what I mean?
Well, that's what we did. We took you out of that cupboard. We
Yeah,
keep
that's
you
exactly what you've just
in
done.
the back of the NEC and then dusted you off. Right, what did you have for dinner last night?
I had a bag of crisps because I was in the back of the car driving down from a gig that I had in the Borders in Wooler at a place called Ardgefren. And Ardgefren is Northumberland's only distillery. And it's a very, very special place. So I was playing with a part of the band last night, and then I just did a little cookery demo and all that. So I didn't get to Birmingham until 2 o'clock this morning. So if I look like I've been sleeping rough with Ant and Deck, that's why.
Were they there?
Absolutely not, no. But it was nice, and they've got a stand somewhere at Ardgefren. And if you like a dram and you like a whiskey, it's worth buying a bottle for Christmas because it's unbelievable.
And are you spending more time now on your music and bits like
No,
that?
well, yeah, I don't really know how I'm doing any of it, really. It's really busy.
Yeah.
It's really busy. I have a programme out in January the 8th about trains
Ooh.
for Channel 4. So if you like trains, that'll be a laugh. I'll never look at a train station the same way again, Sam, actually.
What, are you cooking? Are you...
No, I was just there to bring the human story out about train travel, because this year was 200 years of the British train network not turning up.
Wow.
So
I love train travel. I love it.
Oh, I love it. It's my favourite.
Yeah.
I really do love it. And when I was approached, I thought, well, why haven't you been on the phone to Michael Portillo or something, you know? And they said, no, well, you know, it's clear that you like trains. And I was like, right?
Did you have a train set as a kid?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hornby, 00, gone on. It was great,
Wow.
yeah.
Do you
And I
still
used to
have
make
one?
those little, 00 gauge, wasn't it? And you used to make little trees and that.
Wow.
Did anybody do that, or was just me being a bit of a geek? You did, didn't you?
Not
Made little
one
trees out
person.
of and you used to unpick, what are they called, pipe cleaners, and then paint them green. We didn't have PlayStations and stuff, but nowadays.
Clearly. Did you have
the
a
more
telly?
I'm talking, I just want to shut up, you know.
And because you've got you music, but also you still got your pie. You had a pie restaurant last time I
Yeah,
spoke.
it's still going, and it's still incredibly popular.
Yeah,
so
amazing.
that takes up a considerable amount of time. But I've got a fantastic team on there, so
Yeah.
it enables me to do things like this. So, yeah, and it's great. And now that Sunderland's in the Premiership and doing better than Newcastle United, it's great. Honestly, it's great. And look. We didn't want it just to be an eatery or just somewhere to go. We wanted it to be part of the community and part of the culture of going to the football.
Yeah.
And that's a big ask from a community, you know. But we've just kept doing what we were doing, and we put the takeaway in the centre of a 50-mile radius. And because it's Sunderland and Sunderland is on the coast, there's a lot of water involved in that. But everything, if we can't get it within a 60-mile radius, really, it doesn't get in the kitchen. So it's all
Incredible.
about local provenance and.
And what about maybe combining trains and pies, and you could redo the train food? Could be getting your pies on the
The answer to that is no.
No?
Well, look, the thing is, it doesn't sit with the ethos that we have at Proper. Everything is handmade.
Sure.
And it's like we do rotational service, so we'll maybe have a buffer of 150 pies. And certainly on match days, we do 700 covers. You know,
Wow.
it's nuts. So we'll have a buffer, but it's make, cook, serve. So we just... And the logistics in that, if I didn't have a great team, it'd be... it just wouldn't work. But I do, and I'm incredibly lucky with that. So
And obviously, you started off with being a musician before you were cooking.
yeah, I was a session musician for years until the rock and roll lifestyle. I kind of embraced it a bit too much, I think is the best way to put it.
So what kind of pulled you towards the food angle?
Well, I was always interested in food because I was the youngest of three, so there was because of my dad's travels, there was a great international cuisine when I popped out in 1966 in the North Durham coalfield. My mum at that point had been cooking for years with star anise and lemongrass. And you know, my mum always used to complain bitterly that all the other sailors' wives got nylons and dodgy perfume, and all she got was Stigs and Twix. And she was a great cook.
Yeah.
And it was like, you know, most women of that era, there was a lot of them were incredibly unfulfilled because their role was something different to what we know now, and not a role that, you know, my mum didn't. She did it from duty, you know, but she was remarkable. So the way that she expressed her creativity and her intellect was through food. So my father died when I was 8, so Mum and I grieved at the stove, really, which is where I got some of the techniques that I still use today were learned from my mum. So
What kind of food do you remember most from childhood?
well, what I do now, it's all about comfort and
Yeah.
being hearty and like that cuddle. You know, it's always good when you want a plate of food, you want to cuddle from it. You know, just in the everyday, there's
Yeah.
always great. You know, there's great chefs that I hold in really high esteem, because there's always a place for that end of the cuisine. You know.
Sure.
But for me, it's always about a bit of a cuddle, really.
And I guess what you were saying about your dad having died, it probably your mum felt almost like it was her duty to give you that comfort and that.
Well, she did. I mean, it was a bit much, like, because when I was 8, I was 8 stone. When I was 9, I was 9 stone. When I was 10, I was 10 stone. So she could have backed off a bit. but yeah. And that's what you do, you know, yeah, and I've struggled with my weight all my life, so.
And then you met Dave, and then that's when the Hairy Bikers were born.
That's right, yeah. We met in 1990, the winter of 1991, on a Catherine Cookson drama series called The Gambling Man with Robson Green.
Oh yeah, Robson and Jerome, I remember that.
Robson and Jerome, yeah. He was at the peak of his fame. He'd just come from Soldier.
Wow.
And we stuck him in a burning building and told him to get out.
And what were you doing on the film?
Sorry.
What were you doing on the film?
I was a locations manager and first assistant director, so
Oh
I
wow.
was kind of like the sergeant major of the set.
And then Dave used to do hair and
Dave
makeup.
was
did he?
Dave was hair and makeup. Very
Yeah.
talented prosthetic makeup artist. Dave.
That
Really
always
talented.
surprised. I remember when I was watching This Morning I think it was This Morning, and Kylie was on, and she was like, "Oh, you used to do my makeup." And
Yeah,
I was like,
did,
"That
yeah.
is incredible, isn't it?"
Honestly, Dave did everybody's. You
Isn't
know,
that mad?
we've had everybody. I can't name a musician that he hasn't made up or somebody that he hasn't been to dinner with.
And when did you realise that as you'd really work as a duo in that way?
I don't think we ever did. We
No.
just were mates and just thought we'd give it a go, and
Yeah.
then the rest, as they say, is history. I don't. And Dave and I were never particularly analytical about the Bikers. Particularly, it just seemed a natural, organic thing that happened.
Yeah, I think it's you could tell that when you were watching the shows that you were really good friends, and I think that's why everyone enjoyed it so much, because you're having
Well,
fun as well.
Look, I think there's, there was a load of integrity in it, because we were just mates doing the
Yeah.
thing, and whatever that thing was, everybody seemed to like it. So, and we weren't any more analytical than that, really, which is probably why we're all still skint. But
And then like, do you find yourself reflecting differently now on the Hairy Bikers than I guess you would have probably
Well, of
done?
course, because
Yeah.
because Dave's passed and the Hairy Bikers were plural. It's not. There's nobody could fill his shoes, and nor would I want to. And the Bikers is a legacy brand now.
Yeah.
It's something that you look back at with fondness, and it changed my life and it changed Dave's. The Bikers. I worked out when I was speaking at Dave's funeral that we'd ridden 650,000 miles together over 23
Wow.
years of broadcast. That's to the moon and back.
Gosh.
No wonder we got shares in hemorrhoid cream. You know what I mean? It's dump. Yeah, and that was saddle time. That wasn't including air time. That wasn't including.
Yeah.
That was saddle time spent on the seat of a motorcycle, which is, and there is a. I mean, bikers will know because it's not about getting from A to B. It's the bit in the middle, and that was another bond for Dave and I.
Yeah. I think that moment when you had that show and around, was it a couple of Christmases ago, and he got back on the bike? I remember sitting around at Christmas just absolutely bawling.
It was a very special time. We went to Weems Bay and got the ferry across to Butte, and it was his first time back on the. I mean, he'd had a couple of little goes, but it was his first time back on camera.
Yeah,
and
it was incredible.
And the smile on his face, and he's just like,
Yeah.
"I'll follow you, Kingy." You could see him in my wing mirror, and it was lovely to, lovely to have him back.
Yeah.
And swearing in me ear through the comms. Wow.
I think it's amazing. I mean, it must have made the way that you look at, I guess, what's coming next very differently. I think I lost my brother 2 to 3 years ago. And I think at the beginning, you just kind of get on with it. But then as time passes, it changes you and you think about life differently. And have you...
Well, I think that's grief all over, isn't it? I mean, grief is as varied and as different as our characters and personalities.
Yeah.
There are certain tenets to grief that you will feel.
Yeah.
Anger, frustration, sadness, disappointment. There's a little bit of bitterness there because they've been taken away, or however it manifests itself. It's not. You never get over it. You just have to live with it, and it just changes. It's a change, change in your mindset, changing, and it's not even epiphanous, is it? It just happens over time.
Like day by day. I think you kind of.
No, absolutely, and your best changes on a daily basis. You can only try your best, but sometimes it's a heavier load to carry than other days.
But I think having the memory of them is still great, although it's hard to go through. Having that memory of someone you lose, it's still such a lovely experience to have.
Oh no, it's very important. It's very important that you remember them. Yeah, I mean, there's a good thing. I mean, I don't have to put up with the smell of these farts in a lift anymore, which is always good. But yeah.
And so, are you going to be? Are you swapping the bike for the train, or will you be back
Hell
on
no.
the bike?
What? No, God, no. Motorcycles are in my DNA. I can't. I've got a. I was. What I love about motorcycles, they give you a good prod every now and then to just go wind your neck in, Because so I had the bike out. I had the bike out about 3 days ago, and I really shouldn't have, because it was still a bit icy and a bit.
Hey.
And it gave me a proper prod. So I thought, right, I've got to put this away for until we get one of
warms
those
up a bit.
mild days in the winter. So.
Especially because you're up north.
Yeah. Well,
But they are better at managing the snow.
Well,
Nice.
I mean, you lot in the south, dear God, you get an inch of snow and that's it. It's everything grinds to halt. Well, like, what's going on in the rest of the country? Oh, you've got a centimetre of snow. Well, smashing.
My stepmom's from Halifax, Huddersfield Way.
Oh yeah, well they get plenty of snow.
Yeah, but
Well,
when
you get
she
plenty of
moved,
snow in Burton,
she
yeah.
moved down to south to my to meet. I met my dad in Bath, and she couldn't believe how awful it was. Like she was like, you'd have this much snow, like an inch of snow, and everything would stop.
Oh, yeah,
she was
that's
like, got pictures of her with snow up to the above her head, and it's still going.
Well, I mean, global warming has something to do with our lack of snow up in the north now. But
Of
it's
course.
but when we get it, we get it.
And so, thinking about 2026 and beyond, what are your plans?
Oh,
Well, obviously the train.
so the
show.
train series will come out at the turn of the year. There is some programming in the pipeline that I'll get in trouble if I say anything.
Oh.
There's
No one's listening. Just, you know.
There's honestly, I dare. I'm dying to tell you all, but it is. There is. I'm going to tour with the band for a little bit,
Oh, cool.
and then we'll go into and there's a festival, so keep your eyes open for that. I'm trying to build. Is any builders in the house? Put your hands up. I don't fancy coming building as a house, do you? Because I've taken that on as well. What the hell? Like I haven't got enough to do. So there's a lot going on in 2026, and then obviously there's proper as well, which is
Yeah, of course.
which is now becoming fast a part of my day job as well. So.
I mean, what a great thing to do, though, I think.
Oh, look, I'm enormously privileged and continue to be so. You know, I've just got to remain upright because it's properly busy. So,
Might get a little chair, sit down.
I quite like that. I'll end up like the Pope, you know, just carried about, drinking creme de menthe.
You get you get a Psy Mobile.
Yeah, that would be-
Yeah,
Yeah.
the King Mobile. Right, we're going to move on to our next section now, which is my favourite dish, but actually it's your favourite dish. And I'd love to know what your like ultimate favourite dish of all time would be.
Oh,
It's the
God.
worst question you can ask anyone that's interested in food, but I'm going to still ask it to you.
God, Sam, man. A fruit de mer, fruits of the sea.
Lovely.
Anything that has a bivalve or a gill, I love. And we have some of the best, as long as the water companies don't keep poisoning our water. But that's another story. We've got the best seafood in the world, in my opinion, or some of it anyway. So, and I'm very lucky. I've got a load of mates that work down the Fish Quay in North Shields. So they ring me up at ungodly hours in the morning, going, "We've just got this in." So yeah, if I had to, if it's a go-to, there's a great place called the Saltwater Fish Company, it's owned by a mate of mine, Terry Laybourne, who's been my culinary mentor for, other than my mum, for years and years and years. And a fruit de mer at Terry's place is something to behold. And I love doing it myself as well, you know.
What would you put in it?
Well, everything that's in season at that
Yeah.
time. So you start with crab and lobster and whelk and clams and oysters from Lindisfarne. You do shrimp, you do langoustines. It's the whole kit and caboodle.
Are there any months that you shouldn't do that? Because they used to say, is it only do it when there's an R in the month?
Yeah.
Is that still true?
Well, from local waters, that's true.
Yeah. Right, we're going to move on to culinary confessions. What is the one dish that you make better than anyone else?
What in terms of just family favourites?
Yeah, anything.
Oh,
that you
that's easy. That I'd do, and it's my mum's recipe, and it's for flat rib broth.
Ooh.
And it's a piece of flat rib, and we've taken on the American thing of short rib.
Yeah.
It's not. It's flat rib. Bloody short rib. It's flat rib, and you put a sofrito. You put onions, little bit of garlic, little tiny bit of garlic, carrots, celery,
Nice.
and you just get that a little bit of colour on there.
Yeah.
Some yellow split peas, some green split peas, some barley, pearl barley, and you just saute that off a little bit, and a little bit of oil, a little knob of butter, and then really good beef stock, or you can use chicken stock if you like, or veggie stock. And then you put the flat rib in, but you can only buy the flat rib. Buy the whole rib, you half it, and then you put it side by side in a big stock pot. And you leave it on the stove top for 3 hours.
Nice.
And then in that 3 hours you make your stotty, which is a local flatbread that we have in the northeast. Greg's have made it famous, but it's not a proper stotty, Greg's. It's too. And you make the stotty and you put that in the bottom of the oven. It's like oven bottom bun bread.
Okay. It's like a soda bread kind of vibe, or?
No, it's leaven. It's
Okay.
leaven bread, and you put your thumb in the middle, and it's a colloquialism to, it's an adjective to stot, to throw. So you let it prove once,
Yeah.
and then you knock it back, and then approve again.
Yeah.
And then you smash the dough off your tabletop, and then you shape it, and then you put your thumb in the
Yeah.
middle of it, and then it's ready for the oven when your thumbprint starts to rise.
Okay.
And then you smash it in the bottom of the oven, and then you cover it with butter, and then eat it with your flat rib. I do
Very
that really nice. Actually, that's exactly what I'm going to do on Wednesday when I'm home.
Yeah, sounds
I'm
amazing.
going to ring the supplier. But lads, get us some flat rib in, will you?
What is your biggest cooking disaster?
Oh, that's easy. Dave and I decided to do a crab souffle.
Oh.
And it was very beautiful. The recipe was very beautiful. It was a Delia Smith's recipe. The only problem was that we decided to do it on a charcoal oven in the middle of the Irish Sea on Dave's boat, and it was blowing. So we were like, and honestly, they looked like two burnt beer mats. And I remember turning to Dave, and the cameraman was there. I'm going, Tim, what do you do them? Because he was always like, really like, it's got to be right. It's got to be right.
Yeah.
Like, it's not going to be right. We're in the middle of the Irish Sea, it's blowing a 4, and like, we've got a charcoal oven that we can't regulate the temperature. So anyway, they came out looking like burnt beer mats, and I went to Dave, they'll never show this.
They did.
First thing they did. So that was that was a bit of a culinary disaster.
Love that.
Yeah.
Have you ever served something ready-made and pretended you made it yourself?
Absolutely not.
If you could change
You
one...
have though, haven't you?
I don't lie. I just don't necessarily tell the truth. Is that lying?
So is that sounds like Donald Trump.
No, I wouldn't say I wouldn't lie.
This is
about
even
it.
sounding more like Donald Trump.
But I would admit it if I was asked, but I wouldn't tell someone. Is what I mean. I mean, I'd make
Well, that's disingenuous.
things like pigs in blankets, hummus. That I can't be bothered.
Can't be bothered to make hummus. It's easy.
I know, but the worst one is gravy.
Do you know the most expensive thing to come out of Protter's kitchen?
The gravy.
Yeah, because we make it from Marrowbone. We make it. Everything's handmade. Everything.
Thing is, I know it's better.
But you can't
But
be asked.
Bisto, and the reason I do this is
Who's this dude?
the reason I do this is that one Christmas, my granddad wrote a whole instruction list out, right, of how to make his gravy, which was always the best gravy. And then he gave it to the person hosting Christmas because he was like, I'm not going to eat the Christmas dinner if you don't make my gravy. That's the sort of person he was. And then the person didn't make the gravy. They made the turkey bisto. He couldn't tell the difference. So if he can't tell the difference and he was that fussy, why should I make gravy?
Anyway, it's been nice to see you.
I can cut that, so it's all right. If you could change one thing about the way we grow, buy, cook, or eat food in this country that would be better for the planet, what would it be?
It would be more. It would be. We need to be more judicious about waste, and more judicious about the way that we approach the food that we eat.
Sure.
Because waste is, I always find it incredible. Part of the ethos of Proper, sorry to keep going back to that, but it's just the ethos of who we all are as people, is that I've been an anti-food poverty campaigner all my adult life. And when a country gets to a point where there are people that are taking help from food banks that actually can't cook what we're giving them because they can't afford to put the oven on, then something's gone wrong somewhere, and then very seriously, because it's a very real thing. It's not a politician saying it, it's absolutely real. And these are working people that are working 90-hour weeks and they still can't make ends meet for whatever reason. So I think yeah, and waste plays into that kind of mindset. And that's partly due to the fact that everything is available to us, because we live in an enormously privileged country that everything is available to us all of the time. The problem with that is that food costs have gone through the roof for various economic reasons and political decisions that well, you know what I'm talking about, Brexit and all of that. It's difficult. It's difficult because the reality is that it's gone through the roof. Because trading partners it's costing more money to get food into the country. So, and we didn't have an infrastructure, and the farmers weren't supported enough to be able to actually go. And there wasn't a cohesive food policy of growing, both economically and politically in the UK for years, because we relied on somebody else.
Yeah.
And it's not possible for us to grow all of our own food either. So it's a big question, that, Sam. It's a big question. There's lots of different, as any answer around food, it's always multi-layered. There's never one, what would you do? Because then it's just a soundbite and doesn't mean anything.
Sure. We'll move on to our next one. Obviously, you've got Proper already,
Yeah.
but you're opening a themed restaurant based on your life. What is it called, and what is the signature dish?
I wish I'd read these questions before you were asking us.
I wish I'd sent them.
God.
It's hard, isn't it?
Yeah. Around the world in 80 pies.
Whoa, that was good. And quick.
And it would be, well, it's a bit like Proper because we've got all bits of stuff everywhere, you know. It's like, it's great. Yeah. But like, it'll be about travel and journey because everywhere you go in the world, I don't know about you guys on your travels, there's always some cultural derivative of a pie or a pasty. Everybody has them, don't they? So we'll do that.
And what would your signature pie be?
Steak and kidney.
Lovely. Is there a food you always eat on your birthday?
Freedom air.
Very good. And do you have a food guilty pleasure?
Yeah. Yeah. So listen, and just bear with me, because it's a cornucopia of flavour. But when that's all you've got in the house, and you've come in and you've been cooking all day, and you really can't be that arsed, I do toast,
Yeah.
Marmite,
Nice.
peanut butter.
Okay.
Bear with. Marmalade, but just thin.
Okay.
Cheese, mustard, under the grill. Thank you, Gracie. I mean, you need like a good healthy cheddar, but yeah, it sounds minging, but trust me, it's lush.
If I got rib for the bisto, I feel like you should get more for that.
Absolutely not. You. I could call you all sorts of names talking about Bisto.
Right, I'm going to move on to quick fire questions.
Oh God.
And I'm going to time you.
Oh, shame.
Because
Right.
the winner of this series will get a prize.
What is it? What's the prize?
It'll be a Good Food Podcast mug. And it's metal, so you can take it out on the road. Look, they all want one. Right, how do you time on your phone? Are you ready?
No. Go on then.
Best kitchen tip you've ever been given?
Season from the base.
If you could only eat one cuisine for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Indian.
What ingredient is the biggest waste of money?
Gold leaf.
Worst thing you've ever eaten?
Sheep's testicle.
Your signature can't be
No,
bothered-
actually, I take that back. It's a deer's penis.
Oh, your signature can't be bothered meal.
What?
Your signature can't be bothered meal. So you can't be bothered to cook. What's your quick dish?
What I've just told you, that guilty pleasure.
Favorite midnight snack?
Tomato sauce sandwich. Because normally I'm a bit, worse for wear.
What food should have its own national holiday? We should all have a day off to celebrate it.
Oh God. The stew.
What's your go-to hangover food?
Flatbread with loads of butter and Marmite.
What food did you hate as a kid but now love?
I never hated anything as a kid, which was why I was 8 stone at 8, 9 stone at 9.
If you could invent a new crisp flavour, what would it be?
Chicken Danzak flavour.
And name a fictional character you'd love to have dinner with?
A fictional character.
Yep.
Elmer Fudd.
Starter, main or dessert?
Oh, starter every time.
That's good. 1 minute 30.
What's the?
Well, we had mostly 2 minutes yesterday.
Oh, was it?
Yeah?
Give us me mug.
Yeah. I'll send it to you. Right,
See, that's what they do. They never do, you know.
I forgot to bring them with me, but I promise that you will get one.
Sam, it's fine, honestly.
You wouldn't like it. What our final question for today, which is the term and not us as a brand, which is, what does good food mean to you?
Oh, it's well, I've been doing it since 2006, so it's always that event in the calendar where you come and it's an opportunity to see everybody. You know, everybody that comes to the show. We've all got a like mind and a love of food and an interest in the food and the culture of food, and it's just nice to hang with each other. And I love it. I love it. There's always a great atmosphere, and it's nice just to see everybody. You know.
Right. Well, thank you, and thank you so much for joining me today.
Oh,
and
the
for
greatest of pleasure.
Giving the people what they wanted, which was you.
Well, I'm not so sure about that, but thank you.
Thanks for listening to this Good Food podcast. If you'd like to listen to more of our podcasts, search Good Food wherever you listen to your podcasts. For more recipes and inspiration, go to goodfood.com or download our app.